All right, today we're going to talk about the length of line segments. We're going to do it a couple of different ways. We're going to do it on a number line. And then coming up, we're going to do it using variables. For instance, here is a 4C. They get a little bit harder. And then we're going to do it on a coordinate plane, which is probably the hardest. And we'll talk about that when we get there. All right, so when we're talking about the length of the line segment, for instance, if I wanted to say the length of line segment AB, okay? In this case, on a number line, it's pretty easy to count. 1, 2, and 3. So that distance is 3. But we need to know the formula. The formula for the distance on a number line is we are going to take A and we are going to subtract B from it, and we're going to take the absolute value. Okay, so the distance is going to be that there. Now, it does not matter if you do A minus B or B minus A, they're the same thing. But in this case, we have -9 minus -6. Okay, that's -9 plus 6, which is -3. The absolute value of -3 is 3. Okay, so that's our distance. Same thing would have happened if we would have went the other way around, if we would have did B minus A. Okay, we get -6 minus -9, which would be +9. And then we would get +3, and the absolute value of +3 is 3. Okay, so you can kind of do this with all different ones on here. So if we want to go length of line segment BD, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14. Okay, or you could do 8 minus -6, absolute value. That's 8 plus 6, so it's 14. Okay, and that's just pretty much on a number line. We're going to use that later when we get to coordinate planes, but that's pretty much it. All right, now the same thing applies when we're dealing with a segment that's not necessarily given numbers. They could be given these variables. So here, remember, we're preparing for the IB test, so we want you to write it out. We're going to write xy plus yz equals xz. And now we can substitute in. This is easy with numbers, but with variables, sometimes it gets hard. So xy is going to be 11, yz is 4c, and xz is 83. Now it becomes a solving equation. So here we're going to -11 on both sides. 4c equals 72. All right, so C equals 18. So now on here, guys, we're going to go back and plug it in, and we're going to make sure that it makes sense. So xy is 11. This guy is 4c, but this is 4 times 18, which is 72, and then we have our whole line segment is 83. So 11 plus 72 does equal 83. All right, so we'll do a little bit more complicated of a problem. Okay, so again, we're going to start with xy plus yz equals xz. That's important. It organizes us so that we can keep everything. Then we have xy is 6b, yz is 8b, and the whole thing is 175. Now we're going to substitute in, instead of writing x, y, we are going to write 6b. Instead of writing yz, we're going to write 8b. And that's going to equal 175. All right, so now down again to just a basic basic solving problem. We have 8 plus 6 is 14b. equals 175. Divide by 14. B is 12.5. So now that's a decimal. We're going to check it. We're going to do 6 times 12.5, which will give you 75 here. And then we have 8 times 12.5 should be 100 because the whole thing is 175. So make sure that when you plug in your variable that it does actually come out. All right, so this one I want you guys to do and then bring it to class. So go ahead and try this one on your own and then bring that one to class. And then we'll do segments and distance on the coordinate plane. All right, so we have on the coordinate plane, we have 1, 5, and then we have 5, 5, 8. Now we want to find the length of this segment, okay? There's a really long formula, and we will talk about that. But for now, what I want to do is I want to build a right triangle, okay? So it's just kind of like your rise and your run when you're finding slopes. We're going to find out what the difference is here. This is 3, this is 4, and then we're going to find out x there, which is our is the segment we're looking for. Now, this is a right triangle, so we can use Pythagorean theorem. So we have 3 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared. All right, and we're going to simplify. 3 squared is 9, plus 16 is x squared. This is 25 is x squared. Take the square root of both sides, so x equals 5. So here x is 5. Okay, we'll learn the long formula later, but for now we're just going to use this for that next. Okay, all right, so the next one is one that I want you guys to try to find the distance between these 2 points. All right, and use Pythagorean theorem, or if you know the distance formula, that's okay as well. So you guys have 2 problems for homework. This guy here, find the distance between those 2 points, and this guy here.